Welcome to Inner Racing by Motorsport Mind. This is the audio version of my popular monthly free video series on mental skills in motorsport. I'm your host Greg, and I'm here to share with you practical insights and strategies to help you enhance your mental racing performance both on and off the track. So get ready as we dive deep and explore the mindset behind successful racing, and as we look at practical ways that you can sharpen your racing mental skills performance and gain a competitive edge when you go racing. Let's get started. Hi everybody, and this week I just want to take a quick look at something that's come up a few times in conversation over the last month as we've been reviewing people's seasons and just in having discussions with drivers and riders. Perhaps some different perspectives that you could think about and consider and see if those kind of perspectives and ways of thinking also apply to you, or maybe you've got different thoughts on it. So let's have a look at, is success equal to winning? So am I only successful if I win? Is that what it's about? And what I want to share with you is kind of three different examples of scenarios and situations where if we look at them and if they happen to us, perhaps we would think differently. So the first one is, imagine that you're incredibly successful. Imagine that in every session, every heat, every warm-up, every practice, every race, you are ahead. You're at the front. Imagine you're almost a whole lap ahead. And every session, every race weekend, you're just driving around on your own. Just at the front, just driving around on your own. And you're winning, but is that success? Well, it kind of is. Of course it is. But it's also kind of boring because there's no challenge, because there's no racing involved, because I'm not tussling with people. I'm not displaying my racecraft and my skills. I'm just going around. Is it also kind of boring? So in that situation, is winning and being successful fully rewarding? Maybe not if I'm not actually racing against people. Next situation, and this comes up quite commonly with drivers and riders. If you ask them what's the highlight of their season, they will probably tell you where they placed the best or where they achieved the greatest placing or they won. But if you ask them what their best performance is, it's usually something else completely. It's usually a completely different race when there was challenge and achievement. So when they came up against something, obstacle, a challenge, whether it's a mechanical, a penalty, something that had happened that meant that they really had to perform and demonstrate how good they were and maximize the performance in their driving skill, that's usually when most drivers and riders go, no, that was my best performance. Not when you were the most successful. No. When I did my best performance. It's a really interesting thing. The other situation I want you to think about, and again, this comes up quite often. Let's say you finish fourth, and then somebody gets a penalty in front of you, and you're on the podium in third. Let's say you finished second, and the guy who's finished first gets a penalty, and you're given the podium. Most drivers and riders who I've ever worked with, who this has happened to, don't view that as a success. They don't view it as that win. They don't view it as that achievement because there was little challenge. I didn't earn it. I didn't. Even though technically on paper and, and the records will show that you won that race. It's not the same. So the point here is success just about winning? When you look back at your season, do you look at the highlights? And in those highlights, the same as where you go, no, but that was my best performance. It's an interesting thing. Is success equal to winning? And the answer is, it's part of it, but also recognizing that when we experience challenge, when we have to really demonstrate and really show what we can do, that's when we get that real sense of achievement, that real sense of satisfaction, and that real sense of success as well. So just think about how it applies to you. Are you just focused on that winning is what makes you successful? Or can you recognize as well, it's when you do a really good performance, that's when you feel successful too. So this ties in a lot recently with what we've been talking about focusing on our process and our performance, because if we do that, the results take care of themselves and we can demonstrate our skill and we can get that sense of achievement, that sense of success, that sense of growth as we go through our season. So when we look back through our season, we can go, wow, I couldn't have driven like this at the beginning of my season. And that gives us that sense of success as well. So just thought it's something I'd bring up, seeing as it's come up quite a few times as I review people's seasons with them, and recognize that success isn't winning, it's also being able to show how well we can perform. Any thoughts, any comments, any questions, of course, as always, let me know. And that wraps up another episode of Inner Racing by Motorsport Mind. I hope you found this month's topic valuable in your journey towards peak performance in your racing. To stay updated with the latest content, be sure to subscribe to the newsletter, download the app, and subscribe to the blog. Just visit motorsportmind.com or follow the links.